Iyengar says, I believe it's Sutra, verse, not Iyengar, Patanjali, the sage that wrote down the Yoga Sutras. He said, yoga is a steady and comfortable seat. And that verse has been analyzed a lot. Well, the whole book has been analyzed a lot. That's really the only thing he says about the asana practice. So that is an invitation inward. Good morning, Sally. And to examine, am I steady? Am I comfortable? And if I am not, why am I not? So right now, my blanket has a lump in it. So the princess and the pea. I'm going to flip it around. And there. So take a moment and really examine. We can get so habituated to, well, I'm just going to suffer this one out. It may be that we simply don't know how to create comfort. That's where I come in. I may be able to support you in that. And we just are used to not taking the time. Steady and comfortable is not just in our bodies, it is in our minds as well, which is where we probably have much more instability than in our bodies. But the body, our outer shell, is where we lodge a lot of the event that goes on in our minds. And I am absolutely heartsick about what happened in Boulder yesterday. It is a tragedy. And from a yoga point, ahimsa, absence of harm, it bears witness to what is it that allows this to happen? What transpired prior to that event? And it is, in Buddhism, they talk a lot about othering. It is very easy to go into the place of the other people are bad. It's the other people's fault. And both in yoga and Buddhism, there is no othering. It is just us. And we know this is not an isolated event. It won't be the last. So continuing to think the othering just breeds fear, wanting to protect ourselves from those bad others. When again, that is us. There is no separation. Fear being the strongest of the causes of suffering. So we wall ourselves off. We try to create these stark yet separations between ourselves and others and creating a sense of security, which doesn't exist. So when we come into a seat, a comfortable seat, breathing in and out, that which resides within ourselves resides outside of ourselves. Adi Mudra, taking the thumb, placing it inside your palm, close the fingers around and let your palm face down. Sometimes called the first gesture, Adi. This one is the mudra to create a sense of security, safety, groundedness. It also helps open the lungs so that we can breathe freely. When we become fearful, when we begin to close off, we begin to round off and forward. We become tense and tight, a little like a turtle. We want to pull our head into our shell. It is scary to show our heart and to stick our heads out of our shell. But it is much needed. Let the in-breath draw into your belly. And just receive it without an agenda. And let it flow back out. With suffering, where I can't directly connect, I find the Ho'oponopono prayer a place that I like to start. It is these 4 sentiments that again signifies that we are one unit. The first one is, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. These 4 are also the ones that are in Sutra 233, sometimes called the 4 Mantras or the Metta. These are the 4 keys where we are friendly, joyful, compassionate, and balanced, equanimity in our approach to the world. Supporting wellness, supporting ahimsa, absence of violence, not turning our back away or turning our front away, turning our back to suffering. We can't save the whole world. And it can be so overwhelming, we just shut down. Too much to do. But we can share a smile, we can share a hug, we can reach out to another heart. We don't need to know or have the solution, but reaching out. I am here with you. Allow your hands to just gently open. Open your eyes if they are closed. Stretch your fingers. And then let's switch the cross of the legs. And we'll play a little bit without opening to get a little bit more movement into the shoulders. We know this one. Let's take the arms up and we'll take them down again. It's going to float up and down a little bit. I give you artistic freedom to do whatever you want with this little sequence. It is about creating mobility through the joints. Now let's draw up. Let's take the right hand down and then side bend to the right. Inhaling up, we'll go to the left. I'm just going to go back and forth like a big pendulum. Let it be easy. Gentle effort, but resist strain. Tapas, our 3rd niyama, conscious effort for positive change, is sometimes translated like it has to be really hard, and if you're not sweating and hurting, and you don't need to do that. It is more about unplugging. All right, we'll begin to twist. Same thing, twisting on the out breath, inhaling up and twist to the other side. Back and forth. Inviting gentle mobility, inhaling up, exhaling down, continuing in an easy way. The arms and hands are the agents of the heart. And we want to keep the energy flowing freely here. And the next time you come back to center after the left side, you'll stay there. And we'll do seated cat and cow. Arch, back and forth. Make this arch even throughout, as best as you can. And then let's take the legs out long. I'm just going to shake them out. Konasana. Letting the feet open up. Check in. Give the bottom of your feet a little rub. Each toe gets a little, I love you. So happy to have you. And then take your hands to your knees or inner thighs. I'm just going to get it a little wiggy. And then let's inhale, lengthen up through the front. Now press the knees up into the hands, hands into the knees. Lifting up, lowering down. Feeling how this engages the inner groins more so than doing a passive stretch. Now, passive stretches, it's not like it doesn't have its place. If you have a locked joint, capsulitis, they used to call it, now they just call things frozen, or a lot of scar tissue. Yes, passive stretching. But for the run-of-the-mill everyday mobility, we want to marry mobility and stability with flexibility and stability. So we want to keep the muscles somewhat engaged, not passively stressed. Let's shake that out again. That's the conclusion I've come to at this point. It may change, but I see it working best. Now, for Sukhasana, actually. Yeah, I'm going to turn my blankets around. So instead of being wide, I'm going to make them skinny. And then I'm going to bend my knees up a little bit. I'm going to reach under and I'm going to catch my right ankle. So I'm threading under the left leg, catching my right. And I'm going to take that heel to the outside to my left hip. And then I'm going to take my left leg and place it on top of the right. So they are stacked, one on top of the other. So that's why with the blanket are turned sideways, I have no real estate beside my hips. So that may not be your happy place. And the outer hip may be a little stuck, in which case, go back to Sukhasana so that there is no increased tension. Janice, I'm looking at you. Turn your blanket the long way. So you're sitting right at the edge, so they're not wide, but at the tip. And then, because then now there's room for the foot, and let's get it all the way around, and then on top. How is that? So take your strap, and you want it maybe about 3 feet wide. And this is just the oiling of the shoulders. Sally, you might want to sit up on something, a blanket, but do it the skinny way. And this is just a super easy way. Go back and forth. Keeping the spine neutral. So the arms may not go all the way back. The purpose here is not dislocating your shoulders to get the arms back. It is just to create easy movement. This is a good one to do in front of a mirror. Because you can see if you have a leader and a follower, does one elbow bend? Going back, so take a look at your elbows, say check, straight, straight. Now keep awareness of the elbows as you draw back. And you may find one does bend a little bit, one travels a little bit faster than the other. It's a sneaky place, this thing, having a body. From here, now take your strap into your left hand. And we'll take the arm up over the head, bend the elbow, take the right arm back and slice it up, slice it in behind and catch the strap wherever it is, that's where it is. And you just grab onto it. Lengthening your left armpit, let it stretch. And then drawing your right shoulder back and down. So the work begins once we are in the pose, Sukhasana, cow face. As you inhale, lengthening up through your left elbow and roll the outer left shoulder towards your face. As you exhale, draw the right shoulder back and down. So in this pose, we prepare our shoulders for every one of our inversions. Whether it's dolphin, downward facing dog, headstand, or shoulder stand. Viparita Karni. Boom. All here. So we got a lot of stops on the way. Let's release right arm, straighten the left, and take it down. Let's switch the cross of the legs. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I find I have to sort of squeak into it a little bit. And sometimes it just takes a little time. And Sukhasana may be the happier alternative. This time, take the strap into your right hand. Let's take it up. Bend the elbow. Take the left arm out, palm facing back. Slide it up. And then again, sits bones, check. Lengthening up through your right elbow, stretch the armpit. So that shoulder draws upward. Shoulder blade follows the elbow. And the left side draws in and down. The only pose, to the best of my knowledge, where our shoulder blades travels in opposite direction. As you inhale and lengthen up, draw your outer right armpit forward towards the face. Feel how that your deltoid, your shoulder puff, engages a little bit. This is your downward facing dog arms, dolphin arms, to promote shoulder stability. As you exhale and draw your left shoulder back and shoulder blade towards the spine, this allows the front of the body to open. So this is for our big wheel and bridge poses. Lifting the heart. Let's do one more breath. Lifting, drawing back, and then releasing by taking your left arm down, straightening the right, and down. Let's roll the shoulders. Rolling from the shoulder blades. Can you sense the shoulder blades movement as you roll the shoulders? The shoulder blades are just a funny joint. It's called a false joint, some people call it, because it's not actually attached like other joints. They have to move. Let's roll in the other direction. Easy. If they get stuck, if they are becoming adhesed to the fascia, and we begin to move just from the humerus bone up the shoulder blades, trouble will ensue. All right, that's going really well. Let's take the right shoulder and just take it forward. Just the right one, just going forward. And now let the left follow, but not quite in the same place. Separating the two out. And we're going to switch that one, go in the other direction. Smooth and easy, right? Well, I got one more. This time let's start on the left. Have it go forward. Left shoulder travels forward, moving again from the shoulder blade. Got that one going good. Now take the right and make it go backwards. I do this mostly for my own entertainment. We just switch direction. Your big old locomotive. So now my left goes backwards. I got to get the right going forward. And somehow it's a little easier for me to do the other side. If you find the brain really stuck on a conundrum, this is really good to do because you're doing left and right brain at the same side. All right, good work. Let's take the legs out in front one more time. And come, well, she said. Sitting up, well, I'll just show you what we're doing. Protracting and retraction of the shoulders, really what we want to talk about. So just take your arms out in front. And because we're going to come onto our back and do this too. Now draw the shoulder blades together. And then go forward again. Spread the shoulder. Retraction. Shoulder blades hugging together. Protraction. Separating. Therein lies a lot of our trouble. So take a blanket and then rolling it the long way so it can be under our spine. Long, so fringes are going to be on one end, not across. And then I like to have the fringes on my head end because that tends to be the end that's just a little unruly. Once I've created this long sausage, I'm just going to pop right onto it and keep my knees bent. And it is from my head to my sacrum. And now the shoulder blades are just lying on each side of it. Very convenient. So if you take your arms to the sky, arms are straight up, protract, and then retract the arms. Now we got some space to move in, moving up and down. It's a great way to rehabilitate the shoulders. Arms draws down. Hug the blanket roll with your shoulders, shoulder blades. Now lift the hips, not a huge bit. It's more like an inverted plank. Or keep the shoulder blades in. Lower the hips down. And then lift the arms up again. So protract, take the arms overhead. Draw the arms back up. And then retract, pull the shoulder blades together around the spine, lift the hips, lower down, protract, lift the arms, spread the shoulder blades, take them overhead. Let's do that one more time. Draw the arms up in the protraction, but then retract, zip, like an antenna pulling in. Lift the hips, lower the hips, and then lower the arms down, placing the elbows on the mat. Bend the arms, and we're going to lift up again. Retract the shoulders. Now lifting, squeezing, letting the heart, the sternum draw towards the chin. Don't overcompress the back of your neck. Keep the neck completely soft as you lift the heart. Lift the heart. Yeah, you're squeezing the buns to lift up. Gentle, steady effort. But don't get into that place. And let's lower down. Relaxing the arms out to the sides. Let's walk your feet maybe a little bit wider. Now just rock from side to side on your spinal roll. Don't tip off. And as you roll to one side, feeling how the tissue, the pec majors, the front of your shoulder joint, make it a little bit more space. So I'm just massaging all the way up and down the spine. And then I think we are ready to roll off. We're going to move the roll out of the way, and we're going to come on to tabletop. So in tabletop, now if your wrists are chatty today, just come onto your knuckles. Sometimes that feels better instead of flat hands. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. Protract the shoulder, so lifting up, and then retract. Shoulder blade squeezes together. Lifting up and down. So this is not cat and cow. So the belly button stays firmly on the spine. You are just moving the shoulder blade. So you're not rounding as much as you're spreading on the upper back. And then you're going to stay up in the spreading with the belly button gently hugging up towards the spine. Now take your right arm forward. So now both arms are protracting. And do little circles with the right arm. Little circles with the right arm. Switch directions. Little circles in the opposite. Everything else is steady. Still, looking good. And then reach out through the fingertips and place the right arm down on the mat. Does it feel like it got a little longer than the left one? We should do the left side. So let's take, again, retract first and then lift up, protract. And the protract, you're going to feel really on the side of your chest. That's the serratus anterior. So from there, you're going to lift your left arm forward. And again, circles, circling. How does that feel? Sensing. Going the other direction. Around and around we go. And then place the hand down. Walk the knees back so you have room to come back into puppy pose. Tuck the toes under and stretch back. And let's inhale up into Cobra Pose and move slow. So we do this almost every class because it is such a good shoulder and hip warm up. Exhaling back, lengthen the spine, traction. And then inhale, lift the heart. As you come forward, squeezing the buns a little bit to get the front of the hips to release and the lower abdomen to lengthen up. And then next time you're back in downward facing dog, walk the hands towards the right side. Walk the hands to the right. Draw the left hip back. And then let your, I meant the right hip. No, I meant the left. I'm not near this one. So scratch what I just said. And then flip your left hand onto the pinky side. So we are rotating the left hand out to get a little bit more length in that lateral seam. Now you can slide your right hand down so that the palm is right under the elbow. Sliding the right palm down right under the elbow. And now it facilitates a little bit of a twist, a little bit more lengthening. Now do a little agitation push here. So just little agitations. Not a firm, I'm just like looking up, going back. Pushing with my hand to get a little bit more unstickiness across the outer. My head is just resting on my left upper arm as I pump into the rotation. I say we take the right arm out, come back to center, just pause at center. Sensing left side, right side. Breathing. Maybe there's a little bit more space on the left, which is nice since that is the smaller of the lungs. Let's walk to the left side. Draw the right hip back. And then again, rotate the arm out. So you come onto the pinky side, maybe even the back of the hand. Draw the left hand down. Palm, wrist under the elbows. And then again, these little pumps, little rotations, inviting a little bit more length. It's the lats that we're working now. That looks like wings on your back body. So rotating, lengthening. This is one of the main reasons we lose our mobility, or full range of movement of the shoulder, the lats have shortened. Let's walk the hands back to center. And then at center, creep the hands forward so the hips come to be over the knees, if they aren't already. And then let your chin come towards the mat as your arms comes towards the mat. Playful puppy. So drawing back, lift the tush, but draw the heart to the floor. Now your arms are protracting. So this is what we did, the upper arms in Sukhasana. So roll the outer shoulder pit towards the floor, spreading the shoulder blades, spread the shoulder blades. And lengthen the hips back, lengthen the hips back. So this one can be a little intense. I know. You can also get the pec minors. From here, let's walk the hands in a little bit and take the shoulders up over the wrist. I think we're ready for downward facing dog. Protract the shoulders first so they are ready as you lift the knees and pull back. Inhaling forward to plank pose. So in plank pose, I invite you to take the knees down, Janice, walk your hands for a little bit forwards. They're slightly behind your shoulders. Yes. Now retract and protract your shoulders here. So pull the shoulder blades together on the back. Give the lumbar a little workout. Spread the shoulders. And then press the heels back so you're in full plank. Press the heels back. You are in plank pose. So the muscle against serratus anterior on the side chest is what creates the stability in plank. Now, I'm going to give you a little assignment. I was reading an article yesterday and somebody said you should use your glute in plank. And I'm like, well, you should not use it, but I don't really get the idea. I don't understand why you'd want to squeeze your buns here. So I'm curious about your assessment. What you don't want to do is squeeze the buns as you exhale back to downward facing dog. Pulling back. So the stance in plank and dog are the same length-ish. Keep the shoulder blades spreading. Keep the armpits rolling forward as we did in Sukhasana, cow face pose. As you use the legs to pull back to traction the spine. Lifting up on the tiptoes. Pulling the hips up. Taking the heels towards the floor. And walk the hands towards the feet, feet towards the hands. And take the hands to the hips. Bend the knees a little bit so you can keep the spine long. And push all the way up. Take your strap. Again. We'll play a little bit with it and down in warrior. It's not coming out. Warrior one. So warrior one from an Iyengar point is just really interesting to come into, if you ask me. So I'm standing, I'm just holding on to the strap. We can put it on the hips if you want to feel like you get your proud pose. We'll step the feet about 3.5 feet apart. Let's turn the right foot in 10 to 15 degrees. I'll do left now, I'm mirroring. Left leg out 90 degrees. I'm going to begin to turn to the left as I lift the right heel up and let that spin out further so I can now come to face all the way towards the left side. So my feet are on two little railroad tracks now, not on a tightrope. So just make sure your heel does not line up with your heel. Maybe walk your left foot a little bit further to the side. Just toe heel it out to the side. So we are still in mountain pose, except it doesn't feel like it right now. Lift and spread the toes. Connect to those four corners of your feet. Bending your left knee. And we'll take the strap to the sky. Warrior one. Lift the heart, lifting up. Pull on the strap. So it's over the head. Pull, 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 pull. So the four corners of the feet, grounding down. Right hip moves forward, left hip moves back. Keep your back leg so powerful, anchoring it down through the outer heel. Rooting, promoting lift. If we're not grounding into a body part, we cannot create the lift. And give yourself enough space where the arms can come up pretty high as you pull on the strap. So you are in Shalabhasana in your upper body. And that's going really well. Let's take the arms down, straightening the front knee. And take the strap behind now. Take the strap behind. Roll the shoulders up and down the back. You're holding the strap with the palms facing up. Palms facing up. That will help open the shoulder joint. Now inhale, lift the heart. You pull the straps backwards. And then exhale, hinge forward over your left leg. Hinge up over the left leg. As far as your body allows. Keeping your spine to the best of your senses neutral. Keep the crown of the head in a straight line from the tailbone. So don't drop the head, it's very tempting. You do. So the front of the shoulders are lifted. And inhale all the way up. And then we'll take the strap to one hand as we bring the feet parallel so we can repeat on the other side. We will now start by turning the left foot in 10 to 15 degrees. Right leg out 90. And as I begin to take my left hip around, lift the back heel and complete the turn from the foot. Take the foot with you so you're not torquing the knee. We'll take the hands forward, lifting up, and bend the front knee. So imagine that somebody is holding on to the strap and really pulling you up, creating space between the lower ribs and your hips. And then for the scoliosis consideration, contract the convex side inward, but let the concave move out. So that adds a lot of layers to this really elegant pose. Four corners of the feet, grounds, and lifting up. Keep inviting the left hip forward. And it may mean that you're lifting the heel to accommodate that. And the thigh is firm. This is your little calcium booster for the day. I know, isn't it grand? We'll do one more breath. And take the arms down as we straighten the knees. This time, the strap back again, palm facing up, roll the shoulders up and down the back. So how much you lift the arms away from your body, I'm going to let you be the judge of. Just keep the back of your head as far away from your sacrum as you can as you begin to draw forward. Draw forward. Firm legs, Parsvottanasana. So Parsva is to the side and Uttanasana is the forward fold. So it is a hamstring event for sure. But right now we're also making it to a spine strengthening event. Steady breath, steady pose. Don't forget that sense of hugging the inner thighs towards one another to create stability across the pelvis. One more breath. And then inhale all the way up. And just let go of the strap now to the front of your mat, wherever you are, as we're going to take our hands down and step back through downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Take the knees down. And then lower down. Keep your shoulders protracted as you lower down all the way. And from here, let's just do it one more time. Take your strap forward. Hold it about shoulder width apart. Protract the shoulders. Pull on the strap and then inhale, lift the arms, lift the head, arms and head. Lifting the legs. Pull on the strap, and levitate. You guys are levitating. And exhale, lower down. This is a challenging pose. I know, but it's so good. Now let's bring the elbows in for Sphinx pose. So elbows under the shoulders. Great pose if there's a disc that's about to get a little ornery. But not if there is spinal stenosis. The other direction may feel better. What's good for the goose is not always good for the gander, so it behooves us to know. Now drawing the tailbone towards the heel, so a little bit of a posterior tilt. Squeeze the buns, but let your lower ribs lengthen away from the hips. Lengthen away as you lift your heart light so it shines brightly more and more forward. Which I think gets us ready to tuck the toes under. And then so start by lifting the hips into modified forearm plank. Now hug an imaginary beach ball between your elbows and the side chest engages. From here, press the heels back. If it's available for full forearm plank, which then allows us to lift the hips. Forearm dog. Walk the feet in. So forearm dog to dolphin. We are definitely protracting. Definitely. Lift the shoulders up, 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 away from the floor. But let the head hang. Let the head hang. As you walk the feet in as close as is comfortable. Shoulders do not travel past your elbows. But getting the space between elbows and knees. And as you exhale, let's take the knees down and rest. Wide knee child's pose. And then sitting up. This pose is one of my favorite, not because it's easy, but because of the benefits that it provides. It's a great upper back strengthener. It's a great shoulder strengthener and opener. And it provides traction for the neck. Of course, that doesn't make it easy. So let's do a little, what's it called, practice round. Now take the palms together and interlace them. So holding them in front, with elbows raised up to about shoulder height. Spreading the elbows. So as you take your elbows to, not spreading the shoulder blades, but draw the elbows together. This is a variation of eagle. Drawing the chin towards the chest. We're going to lift the chin back up again. Now separate the elbows out to shoulder width, and then keeping that space between the shoulder blades as you begin to take the arms up overhead. Will the elbows come over the shoulders? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll take the arms back down. And then place this little setup on the mat. So I tuck the bottom pinky finger under the second one so it's not getting squished. So pinky finger upon pinky finger. I have a loose but mindful grip in the fingers, but I'm not knuckling my way in. I am drawing down through the outer elbows, and I'm again hugging that imaginary beach ball to get my shoulder blades to spread. And I invite you to lift the hips again. We're not doing headstand. We are lifting the hips back into dolphin. Again, walk the feet in towards the elbows, as tight as they will come. So the spine gets more and more vertical. And the head hangs. The neck gets a little free flow. You give the head a little nod and a shake. And let's take the knees down. When you've had your fill, take the knees down again and come onto your back for happy baby pose. Hugging the knees in. And letting the knees draw down towards the heels. And sometimes it's just more comfortable to hook the forearms behind the knees so the bottom of the feet can be straight up. And that will allow the knees to draw closer to the shoulders. But it is whatever feels good for you. And then draw the knees together. Squeezing them in. Lifting the head towards the knees. So congest into it, the tightest little ball that you can. So now the whole front seam, our flexors are engaged. And now I invite you to release the flexors as you slowly release out to Shavasana. So that is the flexors of the neck, the trunk, the hips, the ankles. Rolling the legs in and out. And inquire to your body if you need support for added comfort. Maybe you'd like support under your knees. Maybe you'd like support under your head. Maybe you'd like a blanket on top of you. It is whatever you need to support your wellness. I invite you to remove your glasses. And then take your hands under your head. And then gently lengthen the bottom of the skull away from your shoulders so that the chin softens down towards the chest. And then relax your arms down again, maybe about 45 degrees out from the body in an easy way where the shoulder joint feels completely gone. With the palms facing up, that facilitates again that wide opening of the heart center. Breathing in and out. And imagine that you're breathing in and out of your heart center. Stoking your inner light so that it shines a little brighter on the in-breath, and it expands outward on the out-breath. Holding your own suffering and that of the world we live in. Let it draw into your heart to be healed, transformed, and then share your love outward. Staying connected to your heart light. As you begin to deepen your breath, wiggling fingers and toes, bending up the knees, rocking your knees gently from side to side. Eventually roll all the way over onto one side, left or right, whichever you prefer. Using your arms and hands to press up into a comfortable seated posture. Placing your right hand on your heart center and your left hand on top of your right. The yoga practice, its sole intention is that we can eliminate, friend, our own suffering, and thereby create space to hold the suffering of others. Closing with Om Shanti 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 Om. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti 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 Om. Let your heart be strong, open, and powerful so that it too can share healing inward and out. Let's bring our palms together. Thank you. Namaste.